Hi YouTube friends, this is Elizabeth J with an S, and today I am going to attempt a plan with me. Now I'm a teacher, so this plan with me is going to be a teacher plan with me. I don't plan on making this a weekly event. I just thought I would try it and see how it worked. So I have everything that I need here except for my computer. I have the Erin Condren customizable daily agenda. I have my date stickers from Grace Plans. I have some washi tape, which I purchased from Jet Pens. It came in a pack of, I think, 10 or 20 different colors. And whoops, is the, I'm going to say half a centimeter width. Some colorful Post-it notes, which I have 5 different preps, so I have 5 different Post-it notes, and some of these Erin Condren stickers that came in the teacher planner from last year that I never used, and I use them to highlight some important activities during the week. So these are all the things that I need. So first of all, let's move that to the side, and I want to just show you what this book looks like inside. As you can see, this school year, and this is book 1. I am going to be moving into book 2 today because I have completely filled this book, and it has filled up 9 weeks of teaching. So I think that was a very good amount of time. So I've shown this in the past, and basically I use one spread for each day with my Post-it notes and my washi tape and other things. So as you can see, this is Friday, the 25th of October, a very full day, as you can imagine, and then all I have left is this one day. So rather than have 2 books in my traveler's notebook at the same time, I'm just going to ignore this page and start in my new customizable daily agenda. This will just be book 2. So the reason why I decided to do a teacher's notebook, a traveler's notebook, is so that I could remove chunks of my planning and just save them rather than keeping everything in one whole year spiraled bound. It just got so bulky and heavy with the Post-it notes and stickers and washi tape and all of this. So here we have a completely blank planner, customizable agenda. So what I want to do is put in my labels, put in my washi tape for the week, and put in my date stickers. So I'm going to continue with the yellow since I'm almost finished with this roll. I'll just continue for the week. I'm going to put in these date stickers and just do a little handwriting to indicate it's book 2 for the school year, and then we will get into the actual lesson plans. So I am just fixing my washi tape. As you can see, it fits perfectly over the header space, and I use that as my measurement for lining it up properly. And then I put in my date stickers from Grace Plans. They're really nice stickers. They come at a month at a time, so you really have quite a lot to work with. And then for the writing, I am using a Pentel brush pen to put in my dates. Okay, so now that my book is set up, I'm going to go into my numbers file, which is where I do my lesson plans. And you can see here's week 9. And I have already explained how I set this up, but I create these squares that are 2 by 2 inches so that my Post-it notes will fit directly over those. So the first thing I need to do is to create my spreadsheets for week 10, which is the week that we're going into. So I will create week 10 with my year 7s and some of my year 8s since it spills over. I will have my week 10 for the remaining of the year 8s, my week 10 for my year 10s, and my week 10 for my year 11 classes. So as I am recording this, I realize there is so much outside noise coming in. So I really do apologize for all of that. So here I am at my year 11 page, which is now for week 10, but all of this information was for week 9. So I'm just going to clean out, just delete out what I've typed in there since I've already taught it. And then I will get started putting in my lesson plans for the week. So as you can see, I have 3 lessons with my year 11 class. I have actually 2 classes and they're exactly at the same point, which is pretty surprising. So in my plan for my year 11s, we're going to continue in the topic of genetics. And I'm going to be teaching them how to use a Punnett square with simple monohybrid inheritance, just so they understand how to use it, how they can understand how to use the different vocabulary that I've previously taught them. Then we will move on to looking at codominant traits, and the basic example that generally we use is red and white flowers producing red, white, and pink phenotypic traits. So we'll take a look at that just with the Punnett square, but then we will learn about blood typing and how blood typing has the different alleles, and since they're codominant, they produce different phenotypes. So as a result of that, in the next lesson, which is the laboratory lesson, I will do a blood typing activity with the students. I do have one from Carolina Biological, which does not use real blood, and so I'll just see how it goes as far as that particular activity. Then finally, we'll look at sex-linked traits, which is what I'm looking up right now. Just want to make sure I'm lined up with the syllabus and looking at the specific sex-linked traits that they need to be aware of, which would be albinism, color blindness, and hemophilia. So I'm just checking in the syllabus for that as well. So that will take me through the week, through all 3 lessons with the students, doing some practice problems. I'll probably give them some homework as well, and then just review each concept to ensure their understanding. So for my year 10 class, we're finishing up the section on disease and immunity. We're going to just finish up with autoimmune diseases, specifically type 1 diabetes. So we're going to finish that up in our first lesson. And again, I have 3 lessons a week with this class. So in addition to the type 1 diabetes, of course, we will define what autoimmune disease is. And then we're going to very briefly explain why this disease is so detrimental by looking at the purpose of insulin, which I'm not going to go into too much detail on because we'll come back to it again later when we do homeostasis. And then we'll finish up with looking specifically at antibiotics and bacterial resistance. In the second lesson, we will start transport in plants. And so I'm going to start them off with an actual activity where I'm going to give them some micrographs of the root, stem, and leaf transverse section, and they should be able to identify the xylem vessels in each and then do a little bit of drawing in their books. In the final lesson, I'll diagram with them the position of xylem, phloem vessels in root, stem, and leaf for both monocot and dicots. They need to know this for examination purposes, so I want to go over all of it with them. In addition, I'll be reviewing the root hair cells and its adaptations. Okay, so here I am going to plan my year 8 chemistry. And for year 8 chemistry, I have 2 lessons per week. Again, amazingly, it hasn't been like this all year long, but my year 8 chemistry classes are at the same point. So I have 2 year 8 chemistry classes, and I will do the same thing on the same particular day. One of the things that I am really focused on with these students is them being able to understand graphs. They really struggle with this skill, so I have a starter at the beginning of every single lesson, which is a graph for them to analyze, a graph for them to draw, a graph where they have to answer questions based on the data. So I do that for every single lesson. They have a starter that they work on.
For the topic, we are working on the periodic table. So they have a project that they're going to learn about that they're going to take about 2 weeks to do. They're going to learn about the different areas of the periodic table, how to interpret information from the periodic table.
Okay, so I am now going to plan out my Year 8 biology. Again, I have 2 classes of Year 8 biology. I see them twice a week. One class, I have both lessons in the laboratory, and the other class, the first lesson is in the laboratory, the second one is in a classroom. So again, I have to make sure that my lesson plans kind of work within those particular parameters. I have just started with one of the classes, reproduction in plants. We've done flower dissection. The other class has not yet started that, so I will just copy the lessons that I did with the first class into the second class. And so I'm just going to show you my lessons going forward for the classes that have the class that has already started the flower dissection.
The main thing for these guys is they still struggle with the scientific method. So I do a starter every day with my biology students where they're doing some component of the scientific method. Right now they're stuck on variables. They just cannot understand the difference between the 3 different types. So that is what we do every day.
So now we come to my Year 7. This class is a combination science class. Right now we're on biology, and we are doing microscopes and comparing plant and animal cells. So we're currently in the middle of looking at different types of specialized cells. So one class is one lesson behind the other, so it's not a huge difference. And for both of these classes, I have 2 lessons a week. The first lesson is not in the lab for both of them, and the second one is. So I tend to keep my laboratory lessons in the second lesson of the week, which is really good because I can do theory first, and then we do some practical hands-on activities, which recently have been microscopic activities.
So as far as topic goes, in my 2 lessons, we're going to be looking at specialized cells in plants and animals. We will look at diffusion and then some microscopic organisms. One of the things I like to do at the beginning of the lesson is I like to start off with some science literacy. I actually spend 5 minutes reading to the students. Right now we're doing Who Was Albert Einstein? And they're really, really into the book. It settles them down, they get quiet, they get focused, they're listening. It makes things quite easy for me to then engage them in the lesson that we're going to be doing.
So I have finished my lesson plans for Year 7, Year 8 biology and chemistry, Year 10 bio, and Year 11 bio. So now I'm going to print out my lesson plans on plain white paper, and then I will fix the post-it notes onto the paper and then reprint, and I'll show you all of that shortly.
So a couple reasons why I use post-it notes. One is because my handwriting is big for the space. 2, it's a bit messy and the typing is far neater and I can squeeze more into a smaller space. The other thing is that I really do prefer the color coding. I am a bit of a visual person, so when I see all the different colors, number 1, it makes me happy, and number 2, it makes it easier for me to know what class I'm teaching when I can just grab my resources and my lesson plan book, and I'm good to go.
Okay, so I've got all of my lesson plans printed out on the post-it notes. Now I'm just going to put them into the appropriate slots for next week, and my lesson planning is basically finished.
So as you can see, I'm now putting my post-it notes into the lesson plan space that I have created with the washi tape, and it is double in size into the Erin Condren Teacher Planner squares. So instead of one Post-it note, I can fit 2 Post-it notes. I like this because I can put more in my planning. I can make my font size bigger. So that way it's not so squished and teeny tiny. And then, of course, because it's color-coded, I can just look at a day and know which classes I'm going to teach without having to read through everything. And I really just find this system works for me. So I have finished putting the Post-its in, and now I'm just going to finish up by writing down the periods that I have each lesson, and then just put in some reminder stickers that I need to put in for myself just so I can remember a few important reminders for myself. On Mondays, I do a subject clinic for biology for the Year 11 students since they are candidates, which means they'll be taking some national exams. We do like to do some revision with them, and we have revision set up twice a week during lunch. I do the Monday revision, and the other bio teacher does the Thursday lunchtime revision. Have an appointment after school. Just to remind myself I can't do anything in school after school closes that day. So this process typically takes me about 2 hours to do from start to finish, just typing everything in, printing everything out, and putting my lesson planner together like this. I will always forget my duty if I don't remind myself. It's sad, I know, but true. I think I would know it by now. It's only been a whole half term, 9 weeks. Yeah, I still don't remember. So that's Wednesday. Done. But back to what I was saying about how long it takes. This took me a little bit longer because of the videotaping bits. Obviously, I just stop and start and, get things prepared ahead of time before I was going to shoot the video. But typically, I don't do that. I just do everything as I go along. So it takes me 2, sometimes 3 hours, but not more than that. Which is not bad for preparing 5 different classes, and sometimes the classes are at different points, so I'm preparing different things for individual classes. And typically what I do on Monday morning is I will prepare all of my worksheets and send them down for photocopying. So I will have them in the morning, and then I can organize everything for the whole entire week. I like to photocopy everything for the whole week. So that is my plan for the week. Let me just put a reminder here. I have some students that I am walking through some SAT prep and some college application process, but there you have it. My page marker, and put this into my traveler's notebook, and we're set to go for Monday. All right, so hope you've enjoyed the video. Hope you got some ideas.
I probably won't do another teacher plan with me again. This has taken up a considerable amount of time to shoot, but okay, my plan is done for next week. This has been Elizabeth J with an S. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel for other planner videos, science, lesson planning, and activities, and just a whole bunch of crafty things. Have a great day.